Hi, I'm Nia, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the first time I was dress coded at school. And dress codes can be a very touchy subject, and there can be a lot to unpack with the rules that they do have and how they are enforced in different things. And there's so many things, but I'm not going to be going into how generally the dress code system in America is sexist and is usually enforced with like racist tendencies, I guess would be the word. I'm not going to argue with anyone about it. These are things that we know. I don't need to explain it to you. There's many places where, if you want to see that specific type of thing, there's articles and video essays and studies and all kinds of things that you can look up and research. And I'm not going to break down why the American dress code exists or the psychological effects it can have on people, especially women. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about the first time I got dress coded in school. I have only ever gone to schools, or in Atlanta, I've only ever gone to schools that didn't have uniforms, so I never wore a uniform or anything like that while attending school in Atlanta. So I went to school in Atlanta from 2nd grade all the way through to senior year of high school. In all that time, I never wore a school uniform. The first time I got dress coded was in the 5th grade. I had, many times before, dressed myself, but my mom was out of town. She would usually pick out things for me to wear or double check my outfits that I chose. And if she didn't think something matched or didn't like something, she'd be like, oh, you should change that or try something else out. On this day in particular, I wore a t-shirt, some khaki shorts, and sneakers. And the shorts were play shorts, and by play shorts I mean they were durable enough for me to play in because I was a very energetic child. So my dad dropped me off at school. He saw what I looked like. He didn't think anything was wrong with my outfit. And my parents dressed us pretty modestly, especially back then because we were all small children at that time. So if my dad had thought my shorts were even the slightest bit inappropriate, one, they wouldn't have been bought in the first place, and two, he would have had me go change. So I'm at school and it's been a few hours, and I've noticed that my teacher keeps looking at me, and then sometimes she'll talk to other teachers or and they would glance at me, and I didn't know what was going on. But I was in the 5th grade and I didn't really care. I was just whatever, and I kept doing whatever it was that I was doing. What I know now though is that she was talking to these different people trying to figure out if she should dress code me or not. Eventually my teacher decided to send me to the front office for wearing my shorts, saying that they were breaking dress code, and they called my dad, who was at work, and told him that he has to bring me a change of pants if he wants me to be able to go back to class. I'm in the front office for almost 3 hours because at the time my parents owned their own business, and it was an optometrist office on a college campus, so they were always having patients coming in. And since my mom was out of town, my dad was the only eye doctor there, so he had to see the patients who had scheduled their appointments days, sometimes weeks in advance. And as you know, if you're in college, your schedule can be hectic, and you made plans to see the doctor at this time because that might be the only time you have available. So he could not leave work, and they did not care. And I waited in the front office for 3 hours just staring at the wall. And I was not allowed to go back to class. They didn't have any changes of clothes to give me or anything. So while I'm waiting in this office just staring at the wall, they were talking about it and acting as if I went to school wearing hot pants with my butt hanging out and my underwear showing, when in reality the shorts were only 2 inches shorter than what the dress code was, and it wasn't a big deal. because that was why my teacher didn't even know if she would send me to the office at first, because she couldn't even tell at first if they were too short. She couldn't tell if they were like just meeting the mark or if I had gone past, which is why she kept talking to all the other teachers and they all kept staring at me trying to figure out if my shorts were even breaking the dress code to begin with. Anyways, because of this, I'm missing class. I'm not learning. I'm not being productive. I'm not doing anything because all these teachers and administrators and whoever else, they're all so worried that my shorts are going to distract the other students, the boys, from class. No, that's not what happened. I had the shorts on for the first couple hours of the day, and everyone was fine because we were in the 5th grade. We were not thinking sexually about each other in that way at all. It was the adults who were so bothered and distracted by it, and they were the ones who were sexualizing me. By the time my dad is able to get there, the school day is almost over, and the pants he brought were too small. My parents didn't put our clothes away at home. We put our own clothes away, and my dad did not know that the pile of clothes in the closet was meant for donation because I had outgrown them, and so he didn't know where to look, and he just saw some pants and grabbed them and assumed they would be fine. So there's maybe an hour or hour and a half left of school. My siblings and I, we went to the aftercare thing they had in the gym because my parents worked late. No, they didn't work late because my parents were still at work by the time we got out of school, which was at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So my dad goes back to work. I squeeze my little hips into these pants, and then I go back to class. When I get there, my teacher stops the whole class and has us all sit down on the little reading carpet, and then she takes out the student code of conduct and she reads the dress code rules to us, and when she gets to the part about shorts and skirt and dress lengths, she looks at me and reads that part staring directly at me, and then afterwards she says something like, oh, because your stuff needs to be long because sometimes girls like to wear things to show off their butt to get boys' attention, and that's not what good girls should do. And I'm sitting there like, I'm 9 years old. I was so pissed off and humiliated. I didn't know it in this terminology, but in my head I was like, how dare you sexualize me and project these behaviors onto me and project these motivations onto me when I have never exhibited these behaviors that you're saying I'm doing or I did before, and you're just making all of these rude assumptions, and then you purposefully try to embarrass me in front of the entire class. I was so mad. I was so mad. And I had liked this teacher, but when she did that, I never looked at her the same way. And whenever I think about her or think about 5th grade, this is the memory that comes to my head. There were so many other things that happened in 5th grade, and I had so many other fun things, and there were other things that the teacher did that I had liked. But this is the memory that I have of her now, of her doing this. And it was just why? Yeah. So that was the story about the first time I was dress coded. It happened in the 5th grade, and I was 9 years old, and a whole bunch of people projected these sexualized thoughts onto me and made the assumption that I wore shorts because I was trying to get boys' attention. I don't know, it makes me anxious when I think about the times I've been dress coded, especially that one. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment your dress code stories. There's gonna be a part 2 and a part 3 to this video where I talk about the times I was dress coded in middle school and the times I was dress coded in high school, and some really stupid dress code rules that the schools try to enforce. But don't forget to check out my blog where I post personal essays and reviews of books and movies, articles, journal entries, and whatever else I feel like putting on there. You can also follow me and or my cats on Instagram. All the links for everything are in the description below. Thank you for watching. Bye.